Okay, morning, folks. Welcome to briefing on Wednesday the 17th. Nice and sunny out there. As you can see from that chart, little nose of high pressure coming in, that ridge slowly building over the next couple of days. So looks like it's going to be quite nice. If this was middle of summer and a cold front had just gone through and a ridge of high pressure building, we'd be expecting a 100 glide grid and a 500k day. But it's going to be nice. Won't be that nice, and there's certainly some chance of soaring. These frontal systems that you see to the north of it, they're all going to track over Scotland over the course of the next couple of days, because this will settle itself to the south of the UK. You can see it's a flow this way, northwesterly light flow, plenty of spacing between the isobars, so not fresh wind at all to get up further towards Scotland. Wind gets a bit fresher, and actually it's a pretty good wave forecast, I think, for today. Certainly out of a Boyne and Portmoak by the looks of it. So that's what today looks like. Just quickly on tomorrow, you can see the high pressures settle to the south of us. Again, a westerly flow fronts well to the north. I think more chance of fog to start off with tomorrow and Friday, but still should be flyable. Certainly like it when the taffs are sort of half a line almost. So 275 knots, 10k viz and few at 3,500 feet, which indicates some soaring at some point during the afternoon. Gatwick obviously is a little bit longer, but that covers the next 24 hours. But they're giving the similar sort of thing there, a bit more southwesterly wind, and they're saying few at 3,000 feet. Upper winds, probably a little bit lighter than yesterday. I said sort of down in the channel, 10 to 15 knots, and a bit further up the country, Midlands, 15 to 20, so we're halfway in between. So I reckon sort of 280, 290, 15 knots probably at the most. So pretty much dead westerly. Satpic just shows a bit of the early cloud that you can see that's slightly overcast here at the moment. That'll break up fairly quickly, I think. And we'll have a reasonably sunny day with sort of high cirrus floating about all day, really. It's sort of quite pleasant. Temperature-wise, you've got to remember it's going to be sunny out there, so it'll feel pleasant enough, but it is November, so 10 degrees. It'll feel a bit warmer than it did yesterday. I don't think it'll feel like the wind's going to cut through you like it did yesterday. And top meteo suggesting bits of cloud to start off with at 9 o'clock, and then as we play through the morning, it starts to disappear. And I think you will see bits of cumulus. I haven't looked at the soaring forecast particularly, but I don't see why it shouldn't see some cumulus. And then this is just upper cloud here for the afternoon. So pretty pleasant, reasonable chance of some soaring later on, early afternoon, a little bit of local soaring. So it should be fairly good. The thermal forecast shows 600 or 700 meters, so 2,000 feet. Well, I think it's going to go higher than that if the Farnborough TAF is suggesting a few at 3.5. I don't see why we shouldn't get a 3,000 foot thermals at some point during the day. So good weather, folks, for today. Certainly great for training. Bit of local soaring this afternoon, and very pleasant light westerly winds. Airspace. Okay, so this doesn't half look like a rerun of yesterday, albeit with slightly different timing. So 7 is the Southampton's hours of operation, slightly amended from their normal, but it's still daylight hours. Number 14 is the high intensity radio transmissions at Boscombe Down. And number 17 is no danger area crossing service at Salisbury Plain. Remember yesterday, if anybody watched that, Fairford were active in the morning. Well, it's active till 5 o'clock this afternoon. with traffic, and 23 is parachuting at Little Rissington, and that's till 10 o'clock tonight. So not really going to affect us, I don't think, any of those. It's quite clear in this area here. Not a lot going on, but I'm sure we'll see plenty of powered aircraft and helicopters floating about. Nice day to be out doing a bit of power flying. Operationally, grass was fine yesterday.
Yeah, a few mud holes.
Mud holes. So we'll operate standard 2.7 setup, cables along the edge of the runway, and the gliders on the grass. We'll move it slightly forward just to stay clear of the boggy bits, and aerotowing then on the runway itself, just as we would do anytime normally in the summer. Other things to note: jet movement at some point late morning. It's departing Stansted according to the flight plan at about 11 o'clock. It's got an air test to do. So it was 53 minutes in theory from Stansted to Lasham. Could well be an hour, maybe a bit longer. So if we plan on 12 o'clock-ish, maybe a little bit later than that, an A319 coming in, and that's the only movement today, thank goodness. So let's get out there. I gather the gliders are out already.
Yeah.
We'll get out there and go and do some flying.